Joining us in the studio now is Mac McLaughlin. Mac is Director of Western Operations for Compaq. Next to Mac, Jim Bartlett, Manager of Strategic Marketing for NEC. Gary?
Mac, I understand that this is Compaq's first portable. Is that correct?
No, this is our first laptop.
First laptop,
portable.
okay.
Or battery operated, really.
Or battery operated.
Okay, get all the adjectives in there.
You got it, okay.
Battery operated laptop. Why did Compaq wait this long to get into this particular segment of the market?
Well, the technology, in our opinion, was not ready for us to be able to provide a full function laptop computer.
And in particular what? What kind of technology?
Primarily the screen. We did a lot of testing with the market to find out what was an acceptable level, and the VGA monitor was really what was seen as an acceptable level screen.
Can you tell us a little bit about this machine?
You bet. As I mentioned, it does have a VGA monitor. It's a 10-inch diagonal screen. And in addition to the VGA capability of the screen, it also will accept EGA or CGA written software.
And also, do you have a connection on the back then that would go to a normal VGA monitor?
Yes, indeed. In fact, you can plug in either a CGA, EGA, or a VGA color monitor as well. The keyboard also is easily removed from the top of the unit, and we find that especially on an airplane, when you try to put a laptop on the tray, that sometimes it's nice to be able to take the keyboard off and put it in your lap to use that.
What else is in here, Mac?
Well, the battery fits right in the front of the unit. I brought an extra battery along with me so you could see that. And it uses a 3.5-inch 1.4 megabyte floppy drive. And it comes with either a 20 or a 40 megabyte hard drive. Uses the C286 microprocessor that runs at 12 megahertz. So it's a very, very high performance system.
Okay, and what kind of time do you get on the, let's say, normal usage in the
well, it's a minimum of 3 hours in the battery. Normal usage depends on whether or not you're using a graphics-intensive software package or whether it's text.
And you can carry on an extra battery pack.
Carry an extra battery pack usually and just slip it in.
Okay, what's in the back of the machine, Mac? How can we get in and out of this thing?
Okay, glad you asked. On the back of the unit, there is a port for a parallel for a printer. Serial port, a port to plug into the VGA, as we talked about before, for an external monitor. And in addition to that, it has the ability to plug in the full-size 101 keyboard so that if you wanted to use a full-size keyboard, you could.
You've got a couple of interesting connectors over here, look like telco. Does it have a built-in modem then?
That's correct. It does have a built-in modem that plugs in on the side, and in addition to that, it has an AC adapter port on this side of it.
Okay. What's the big fat one on the right there?
Well, this is what we think is one of the most important features of the unit. This plugs into the docking port, so you can actually take your laptop, plug it into a docking port, and then use it as an office computer in your office. The docking port then has a recharger built into it, so it recharges the battery, and also has 2 slots in it, so that you can use 2 additional slots for any other.
And is this removable then, so you can then use?
Well, this can be closed down.
Oh, I see.
And then, of course, you would use your color monitor along with your 101 keyboard when in the office. You can upload the software you've been working on or the programs you've been working on, and then download it when you want to take it home at night.
Jim, you've got a very different approach here with the NEC Ultralight, very small. Tell us what your approach is to a laptop.
Okay, Stuart. Well, we've taken several approaches to laptops and have quite a range, but this product is the first in this class anyway, we feel. It's 4.4 pounds, so it's about the size of a PC magazine, and it can fit into any briefcase without displacing any of your important work papers. So now we have a machine that people can throw in the briefcase and not have to think consciously, am I going to need it or am I not going to need it when I get to the other end of my trip?
Jim, what's inside it? What are the components we're dealing with?
Oh, this is based on a V30 processor running at 10 megahertz, so it's got about the same horsepower as an 8 megahertz 286 machine as far as processing power. It has 640K of RAM. It has a backlit display that does both text and graphics.
Right. Now the catch or the benefit, depending on how you look at it, is no drives, right?
Well, there's no floppy drive inside the machine. There's a separate floppy drive that can be plugged into the expansion port on the back, but we do have a silicon hard disk, which is one of the other very unique things that we did in this machine. It's a 2 megabyte silicon hard disk, and it's differentiated from what we've talked about in the past in the RAM disks, in that it actually has the same physical attributes
Is a hard disk.
From a piece of software looking at it, looks like a physical
like a
hard
drive.
disk.
Does it retain the data then after the power
Yes.
goes down?
Yeah.
Right, it's an integral system that has silicon file chips with a battery to hold them, hold
up
the
to 2
information.
megs.
Right, it's
Okay.
either 1 megabyte or 2 megabyte
Okay.
for the hard disk. Then the other thing we've done is provided ROM cards and RAM cards that can go into this slot on the side. I have a one card in here in the side, and there's an additional one I have here. So you can buy standard
an
packages.
application
Lotus
ROM
1,
pack.
2, 3, WordPerfect 5.0, those kinds of things on these cards, and install that in your ROM card slot in addition to whatever you store on the silicon hard disk.
Now, did you say you also have a RAM card? Is that right?
Right. This is a RAM card in the slot right here.
And that gives you how much storage there?
This particular one is 256K. I have Procom on this card.
And battery life, given that you don't have to worry about mechanical
Yeah,
drives.
it's 2 hours of life on this product, and we found is that over 50%, about 60% of the people in the market research that we have done through an independent source indicate that 1 to 2 hours is what they use daily. Now, there are going to be some people who require more. And we're working
plane trip across the country.
Actually, it's interesting, 87% of all domestic flights, 2 hours of battery life is enough.
Real quick, just a few seconds left. Give me prices on these two machines, Mac.
With a 20 megabyte hard file, it's $53.99, and with the 40 megabyte, it's $59.99.
And the ultralight.
It's $29.99 with a 1 megabyte silicon hard disk, and with 2 megabyte hard disk, it's $36.99.
Great, thank you.
This has a 2400 baud modem built in as well.
In just a minute, we'll take a look at a laptop that has a built-in